Hi, one important news recently was regarding Finance Commission, the 16th Finance Commission. Now, Finance Commission is usually a very important piece of news for your competitive exams, also CLAT exam. Now, in this video, we are going to see in general about Finance Commission, about the 16th Finance Commission, its composition, its chairman, etc., its terms of references, and lastly some important points regarding Finance Commission. So let us begin. And so to begin with, what exactly is the Finance Commission? So in the Constitution, there is an Article 280 which says there shall be a Finance Commission. It is a constitutional authority because it is mentioned in the Constitution. So it's a constitutional body first of all. The article is 280 and you have to remember this article number also. Now what is the job? The article further says that its job is to distribute the net proceeds of taxes. What exactly is it? So the central government, it has two major taxes. One is direct tax, basically corporate tax and income tax. Secondly, indirect taxes, mostly GST. So for our simplified purpose, income tax plus GST plus corporate tax, which is basically income tax on companies, these three go into a basket which is called Consolidated Fund of India. Now this is not solely of the union government. I mean, union government will use the bulk of it, but some of it also has to be given to other states, and among the states it has to be distributed. So who will decide what is a fair criteria? What are the principles on the basis of which to divide these net proceeds of taxes, that is income tax plus GST plus corporate tax, right? So we have a constitutional body which is called Finance Commission. This allocates between union and the states. First of all, that is on one side we have Government of India, on other side we have state governments. Then between the states themselves, and tell what is exactly the principle on which they are basically devolving these revenues, these grants and aid to the states. So there should be a principle like how much should Bihar get on what particular let us say criteria, or Kerala how much should it get on what particular criteria. So those criterias also, those principles also it has to formulate. Lastly, it also has to talk about resources to supplement the panchayats. This is the generic thing. Now all the terms of references will be related to that. We will see that later, what exactly are the terms of reference of 16th Finance Commission. The duration of a Finance Commission is 5 years. It is there in the Constitution and it is appointed by the President. Now these are some important points you have to read about any Finance Commission in general. This is part of your Constitution. Now talking about this particular Finance Commission, they have appointed certain members and a chairman. So the chairman of this Finance Commission is Arvind Pangadia, right? This is the 16th Finance Commission. Who is the chairman? Just remember the name, Arvind Pangadia. He was formerly vice chairman of Niti Aayog. So he has been there working with the Government of India for a very long time. Now we also have some other members. You may or may not remember these names. If I were in your place, I wouldn't remember these names. Doesn't matter. Nobody asks in any exam unless you are related to them and probably want to flex, right? Now, what is the duration? The duration is 5 years starting from 1st day of April. Why 1st day of April? Because that is when the new financial year starts, and till financial year 2025-26, which ends on 31st of March 2026, we already have recommendations of 15th Finance Commission in action. So currently also they are dividing the revenues, but according to 15th Finance Commission, this is for future. It needs around 1.5, 2 years to formulate how it is going to work, and then it will give its report before 31st of October 2025. India is a big country, so it will tour the country, it will come to Uttarakhand, it will go to Bihar, it will go to Kerala, all the states, and then hold meetings with important officers and other people there, and then decide how to divide this thing and how much to provide to each state. In general, how much to provide to different states. So what are the terms of references? These are the terms of references. Terms of references means what exactly is its job. So what happens is when the President appoints them, at the time of appointment, she also tells, currently the President is a she also tells that This is your job. This is what you are going to do. This is what I want in the report. So what is exactly they are going to report on? First of all, how to distribute taxes, net proceeds of taxes, the same income tax plus GST plus corporate tax between the union and the states. This is the first thing they are going to do. This is about 16th Finance Commission, right? Secondly, between different states, what are the respective shares? So what is the share of Bihar, what is the share of Uttarakhand or Himachal or Kerala or Telangana, Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu, etc. Then principles which should govern the grants in aid of the revenues of the states. Now there should be some principle. For example, if let us say we say only population is the criteria, UP and Bihar will get everything and nobody else probably will get much of a money, right? Because they have a large population. So UP, Bihar, Bengal, these will corner all the resources. So population alone cannot be the criteria. Similarly, area alone cannot be the criteria. I mean, we have, let us say Arunachal, large state, it has a large area but very small number of people. So you have to take in account all such principles, all such things. Perhaps in some state people are very rich and they don't even need the money from the center, they generate their own revenue. So all these things considered are there in the principles. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The measurements needed to augment the consolidated fund of state to supplement the resources of the panchayat. Now we have learnt another term here, consolidated fund of state. Yesterday I told you there is something called Article 266, which if you do look into your book, constitution copy or wherever, you'll find it talks about basically Article 266 and nearby articles, Consolidated Fund of India. There is also Public Account of India, Emergency Fund of India. Similarly, states also have their own funds in which state level taxes, we have SGST, right, state GST, we have other things, they go into that particular basket, that particular bank account, let us say for a very simplified understanding. So this bank account is with Reserve Bank of India. Now, Commission may also review. So from this consolidated fund of state, how much is to be given to the panchayats and municipalities? See, panchayats and municipalities are constitutional bodies mentioned in Article 243 and the annexures, the schedules 11 and 12. So state government must provide some money to them, right? How much money they have to provide? This commission will just indicate, it will not tell. They have a different finance commission which is called a state finance commission, but on the level of entire India it will say this much percentage should go to panchayats and municipalities. At state levels it will give them, okay, this is what I am giving you, work with it, probably increase it a bit. So states generally increase it a bit. Now it will also, I am talking about 16th Finance Commission, this is all about 16th Finance Commission. It will also, for example, review financing of disaster management activities. So disaster management has become very important in recent years. Recently we had this Silkyara tunnel collapse in Uttarakhand. So we brought experts from all over the world, so many machines. Obviously so much money would have been spent, and that money comes from where? Disaster management financing. So it also has to look, and with time it is speculated, global warming and everything, this perhaps the cost of disaster management will also increase. So they have to get the money somewhere. So Finance Commission, 16th Finance Commission will also look into this. Now what are the usual principles? I am telling you the principles of 15th Finance Commission. Similar principles were used in 14th and 13th Finance Commission also. So these are the general principles you will see reflected in the report of 16th Finance Commission too. Number one is income distance. So what is an income distance? Very simple concept. Okay, so current per capita income, let us say of India, right? Current per capita income of India, let us just assume is Rs 100 rupees. Now we might have a Bihar whose per capita income is perhaps Rs 40 rupees. We might have a state, let us say Punjab, whose per capita income might be, let us say, 120 rupees. So more than and less than, right? Nobody will be the average. Somebody will be more, somebody will have, some states will have less income. But they will be somewhat distant from this mean, or let us say average income. So income distance, there is a formula which takes into account these diversities of income within states, these diversities of financial conditions within states, so that Bihar gets a relatively larger share of the money than Punjab, because Bihar particularly needs it, Punjab doesn't need it, right? It is not unfair, by the way. Many people, especially I have seen people in South India saying this is unfair, but what happens is Bihar is actually providing manpower there, right? Without manpower of Bihar, Punjab or many states in the country, in South India, in East India, West India, anywhere, they might not work, right? So generally poor states provide manpower, richer states, they have their own industries or other money making activities where people from all around, all over work. Secondly, we have area. So I told you the example of Arunachal. Similarly, my state Uttarakhand, we have a larger area than a population, like the population density in Uttarakhand is lesser than of India. So what happens is our because the area is large, perhaps it is inaccessible, it also needs to be, and the area, it is not easy to travel to. We don't have, for example, railways in the hills in Arunachal or in Uttarakhand. So we perhaps need a bigger share of the pie. So area is another criteria. Next criteria is population, which will be obvious. I mean, more the population, you need more money. Demographic performance, 12.5. Now what is this? Demographic performance is basically your TFR, right? Total fertility rate. If per couple, or let us say per women, because women can form more than one couples, per women you have 2 children or less, your state will get more money. Basically states like Kerala, they will benefit with this demographic performance included in the criteria for money devolution, and states like Bihar will suffer because their TFR is like 3.6 or something. Okay, so if you improve your performance, you will get more money. That is the idea, so that states can actually work on reducing the population. Then forest and ecology, 10%. So Uttarakhand, for example, we have 45% of area under forests, right? Some states have 60 or 70% area under forests. They will get more money under this. And some states like Punjab and Haryana have zero forest, practically zero forest, 1 or 2% maybe. So they will get less money due to forest and ecology things. Tax and fiscal efforts, 2.5%. Now, one thing you need to remember is you don't actually have to remember this right away. But when the exam is there, I will suggest at least look into this, because this is once in a 5-year thing, and this year it is news, right? Finance Commission will be news this year because it will also go and tour different areas. So just look into it before your exam. It might be helpful to you. Here are some extra points for Finance Commission. Number 1, first Finance Commission was formed in 1951. The chairman was Mr. K.C. Niyogi, and they worked for the period 1952 to 1957. The last, the 15th Finance Commission, 2017 it was formed under N.K. Singh. You already know the duration actually. 2026 तक काम कर रहा है. It started working in 2020. So basically this Finance Commission actually worked for 6 years, right? So it can work for 6 years if the government wants, but like the last one did. Lastly, what exactly was the devolution? In 15th Finance Commission, it is 41%. What is a devolution? What does devolution means? Basically, 41% goes to states, right? And 59% goes to central government, or let us call it union government. So union government gets a bigger share of 59%, other 41% goes to states. You might say this entire 59% is actually not going to union government. Some of it comes back to states in different forms, like different schemes, Sukanya Samriddhi scheme, or let us say Ayushman Bharat or Manrega, etc. But this is not the place we are going to talk about it. Perhaps in economics class, which generally you don't read for CLAT exam. So now I'll end this video here. Thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you again. Bye bye.